Let's face it, we could be editing our writing projects forever. But when is enough enough? When do we take our editor's hat off and put the publishing hat back on? Hi there, my name is Tanya, and I am an independent author. I write high fantasy, crime thrillers, and nonfiction. If you're interested in learning more about me and my publications, then check out my website at www.tanyastephenson.ca. And if you'd like to support my podcast, you can buy me a coffee, or actually a tea because, well, I don't drink coffee. This is episode 8. Our projects will never be perfect. In fact, there really is no such thing as the perfect story, aside from personal opinion. No matter how many times we review our stories or how many times we send it out for yet another round of edits, there will never be an end to potential changes and modifications. So how do we know when to stop the edits and just get the darn thing published? Here are my thoughts. The more you go through the process of writing, editing, and publishing, eventually you'll develop some sort of a flow. And for some projects, you may not follow a standard flow because you may feel the project requires more work in a different area than the other projects. For example, one story may need a developmental edit, while the rest only need a line edit. Or maybe you're so damn tired of staring at that same story, you send it off to a writing buddy to help tie up some loose ends, because let's face it, you can only look at the same story so many times. But for most of your projects, once you have an editing process set, stick to that process as much as possible and then move on to publication. Otherwise, you'll never get the darn thing published. So what do I mean by this? Here's an example of an editing process, one which is very close to how very close to my process of editing. Step 1, read and self-edit the project. This may need about 2 rounds. Step 2, use editing software like ProWritingAid, which is what I use, or Grammarly. Step 3, use the computer's voice to play back the story piece by piece so that you can listen and pick up anything that doesn't make sense to the ear. Step 4, sending it out for peer editing. Step 5, send it to a paid editor. Step 6, use beta readers. So once all of these steps are complete, there should be no need to go back to any of the previous steps and repeat them, unless, of course, something major is found that requires modification. Hopefully, that isn't the case, and after step 6 is complete, the writer could then move on to the formatting and publication process. But what I would like to ask you is, what does your editing process flow look like? Do you even have a regular editing process flow that you follow? Do you wing it based on each individual project? Please leave a comment and share with us your editing process. Also, another curiosity for me, do you use beta readers before or after a paid edit is complete, and why is that? And by the way, thank you for sharing it with us.